Welcome to Relatively Sane. This is Vivian Eisenstein. I kidnapped Jessica Kirson. She's in my home. I was very lonely and I needed company, so I went to her house and I stole her. She wasn't doing anything anyway, but eating and masturbating and crying. So I went and took her. Who cares? I make a wonderful brisket. She'll be very happy when she has my brisket. I've been doing okay. I've been shopping more online, so my granddaughters taught me how to do it. The other day, I shopped for a robe and an eye mask and a cane. And for some reason, I got a rocking horse, a jar of strawberry preserves, and a houseboat. I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to need some more help with the Amazon Prime. I don't even know what it's called. I just want to go and play cards with the girls. I said we can all sit 6 feet apart, but even when they're sitting, excuse me, even when they're sitting right next to me, I can't hear them. How am I going to hear them if they're across the yard from me? Plus, I can't sit outside too long because I could definitely use a nice pounding right now. I'm very horny since this pandemic started. I don't know why I just got sexual, but it seems right for this podcast. So thank you all for listening to Relatively Sane. Jessica will be back in a couple of days when I feel like I've had company for long enough. Bye.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Relatively Sane. I'm here with Emmy Blotnick. How are you?
I am so happy to hear your voice and see your face. I've been very starved for social contact. So,
yeah. Where are you? Are you in the city?
I'm in, I live in Greenpoint, Brooklyn, and it feels very small. But where are you?
I'm on Long Island.
Lovely.
I don't love living on Long Island, but this is where I ended up. But I'm a Jersey girl originally. Where are you from originally?
I am from just outside Boston.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Massachusetts.
Did you start comedy there?
No, I started in New York, but I do think I wish I had started it in Boston just because it's such it's a very manageable and good scene. Like good people started there, but yeah.
When did you start stand up in the city in New York?
2010.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and now it's this. So what are you doing with your time?
It's so weird. So this was when I was first starting out. I read it was like a Q&A with Eugene Merman, and he was like, it takes 10 years to stop sucking. And I was really looking forward to year 10 because I was like, this is gonna be when I stop sucking. And now I don't know what will happen to stand up as a art form. I guess it's very, very confusing. But I've been doing a lot of writing stuff because we can still do that, and not much else.
Yeah, I think for some people it takes 10 years of sucking to get that good. You're not in that category. I wasn't either. It depends on the person. It really does. I think some people need even more than 10 years to get really good. But I was kind of like, I could manage from the start. And you're so funny. And so smart. There's no way you bombing for 10 years. I mean, I've seen you kill. Like it really depends on the person.
I guess so. But there was something 10 years that I feel like I'm not experiencing. When did you start?
Well, I want to say also, it's so hard to do it 10 years. And like, we both have heat, meaning at your level, you have heat and a lot going on. And right before this happened, and me too, at my level, and the amount I've been doing it 21, I'm in my 21st year. But it's very
Amazing.
hard. It's very hard to have a lot going on, jobs, like you have writing jobs and all this stuff going on, and you're working at the Comedy Cellar, and then it's gone out of nowhere. It's like, but I know the Comedy Cellar is opening soon, and they'll be doing, I think, half the audience. I don't know the exact number, but they are opening in a couple of weeks. It's so
Oh my goodness.
yeah, I know. And
I hadn't heard that. I guess,
yeah,
yeah.
I just heard that literally like the other day.
Wow.
Like yesterday I heard that. But it's hard. Like, how are you feeling not performing, not getting on stage and doing, because for me it's therapy, so it's been very difficult.
Yeah. I feel like approximately half a person without it, which like it feels like a limb is missing. And
Right.
the other thing is, I didn't realize until this all happened how much of my social life exists around comedy. So like when stand-up is gone, there's probably like 200 people that I know and love that I just don't keep in touch with unless we run into each other. And
Yeah,
I miss all those people. Yeah.
I do too. I mean, that's, for me, that's been the hardest part, is the connection and the friendships and the talking, because I find, I was talking about this on Instagram last night. I'm having a really hard time with having real talk with people. Like, it just seems so on the surface. Like, comics are so real and say it how it is, and we're so dark, and I'll talk to people and be like, "Oh, it's fine. It's okay." I'm like, "No, it's not. It's really not okay right now.
Yes.
It will be, but it's not even
Yeah. You're like,
close
tell
to
me the real
being
shit.
right." And it makes me feel alone when I don't have a lot of people to talk to in a real way. Um,
Yeah.
we don't do small
Yes.
talk, right? Comics don't do small talk. Like, how are you
No.
doing? How's the fit? It's like we go right into, I'm going to kill myself.
Yes, I think I opened this podcast with "I'm lonely." So
Are you alone? Are you with
I
your
mean, I'm with my fiance is
oh,
our apartment is like one long hallway, and
yeah.
so he is just out of frame, and he's been my, like, I would be going completely insane without him, but
Yeah,
it's, it's, yeah, the world is just feeling very small to me,
me
like,
too.
I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I know.
um I think you tweeted it some time ago, like that you were doing outdoor shows. I am so curious about that.
Oh, sure. Well, I just did the Stress Factory in Jersey. I did 3 outdoor shows, and it was very weird to get up, but it's not, I mean, I forgot some stuff, but it's not like I forgot everything. I mean, people are like, I'm not going to remember my whole act. I mean, I remembered most of it, but there are jokes and tags I did not remember. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe I didn't remember.
Yeah.
And what happened was,
Yeah.
the comics that went up before me did great, but they didn't address how horrible it is right now and how depressing it is. And so when I went up and I was like, God, how horrible is life, for everyone started laughing because I was being honest and pointing out the truth. And that's when they laughed. I made fun of everything going on, how horrible, like with the masks and the social distance, and that's when they all just were laughing. And it took until the 3rd show to feel comfortable and really feel the energy of the crowd. It took 3 shows to get there.
That sounds about right. I mean, that sounds fast even.
Yeah, I mean, I still felt completely off and rusty, but I felt a little like, oh, okay, I got something from this. I feel like this was therapeutic for me. But this is so negative, but it was also sad
Yeah.
because I'm like, how long is this going to last? And then how are we going to do it inside where I don't know if it's going to be completely safe, and I'm concerned about that.
Yeah, no, it seems like there's no way to do it completely safely. Like I'm ugh, it's spooking me to see places reopen because it's like we are due for the second wave also, and it has to like ugh,
I
it's
know.
I want to the competing desires to perform and also stay alive
I
are
know.
it's intense.
It's really hard. I mean, I have the same thing, and I wasn't going to do it, but I'm like, Jessica, you can drive there. It's local. I had it. I saw a video first and pictures. I would have never done it if I didn't see how it was set up. And it looked safe to me. And then I left my mask on the whole time until I was on stage. And I didn't take pictures with people. And I didn't, there's just certain things I won't do, of course. When I see what comics are doing on the road, I'm shocked
Yeah.
that they're so defined,
Yes.
kind of just, I would never do that. So there's some other places that are local that are doing some stuff outside, and I'm willing to do it if it's safe. But again, the weather's going to change. I mean, it's just not going to last that long. So, but when
Yeah.
you find yourself depressed and, anxious or in your head when you're home, like what kind of things do you do to deal with it? Because this is crazy time.
I think so. The I'm noticing like, okay, exercise feels completely untackleable to me right now for some reason. Like I don't have the patience to stay with any exercise video. I hit play on like a yoga video and just walk away from it. And I'm like, this is so that feels that feels like it's not happening. But I'm journaling a bit, like just sort of like morning pages style, the association shit. And that helps just sort of like get some of the crazies out of orbit in your brain, I think. But they're not like nice journal entries. They're very messy and self-pitying.
I feel like a victim a lot during this. I do.
Yeah,
I don't want to, but I'm like,
it's
oh, it's so hard for me. It's hard not to feel like a victim.
and like I have it relatively easy. I realize too, like we don't have pets, we don't have kids. Like my work is like relatively stable given everything, and I'm still like just like sort of guttural wailing into my notebook.
It's not easy. It's been very hard. And I'm like, last night I was like, oh, I'm so angry at the people who can just be alone, like don't have to. I mean, I love my kids, but it brings it to another level. I mean, we have three very young children, and it's like, holy shit, it's a lot. It's not just taking care of myself. I mean, I'm really like having a hard time taking care of myself. And you said the exercise thing, I can totally relate to that, but I am going to force myself to exercise because I do think that it's going to make me feel better.
Yeah. I mean, if I don't think our apartment is sturdy enough for like a pull-up bar or a punching bag, but those two things sound good to me. I would love to just do the like sort of speed bagging gesture on something.
Yeah. Yeah.
One very strange coping mechanism I didn't know I had when this all first started happening. My fiance is like the most rational, practical person, and he was getting like bags of rice and pasta and like all the stuff that you should have. And I spent like a couple $1,000s on eBay, just sort of compulsively bidding on things that I guess I want to be buried with. I don't really know what the plan is.
What kind of things? What did you get?
So some of them were like items of clothing that I never thought I could wear. And then suddenly when I think I jumped ahead. I was like, it is a foregone conclusion I'm going to get this and die from it. So I better be wearing like studded motorcycle boots when it happens. And I got these fucking ridiculous boots that I think they were in style probably like 7 years ago. And I sat the trend out and now they are way out of style. And they're in our shoe closet, like when you first come in. And my fiance has been calling them the roommate boots because they look like someone else lives here.
That's hysterical.
It's an insane thing to do.
Where did you guys meet? You and your fiance?
We met on Bumble, which is a very like, I mean, I guess it's a typical thing now, but it still feels like
Yeah.
strange to me that I found the like the love of my life on an app.
What attracted you to him? Like what was is his kindness?
Yes, he's definitely he's very 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 kind. He's from Minnesota, and I
Oh,
think
yeah.
there's some. I was raised by like very rude Jewish people, and so he has this like just sort of inherent kindness that no one in my family has.
Wait, we need to talk about this. When you say I'm from the same thing, that's why I'm laughing. When you say
Yeah,
rude, you mean like in public, in restaurants, the way they treat people? I know. It's
absolutely. I mean, both my parents were like they both are like Larry David without the charm, like without it being like in the context of a fun show. They were just sort of like judgmental. um and yeah, I know that they both had like tough childhoods, and that's how this happens. It's not like they're like bad people, but it's there's something so nice to be around someone like
yeah.
being considerate, and it's huge to me.
No, I so understand what you're saying. I'm from the same thing. Wait,
That's amazing.
give an example. Like if you're in a restaurant and your mom and dad didn't get their drink and it's been 5 minutes, what would they say?
At this point, oh, by 5 minutes afterwards, we've moved into character assassinations and insults about their looks and all sorts of presumptions about their backgrounds. I remember being a child in a TJ Maxx with my mom, and there was a woman who wasn't wearing a bra, and my mom saying in like such an outdoor voice, "That
Yeah.
woman needs to put on a bra." And it's just like, I just want to be a child that can exist in the world without humiliation. But
I
yeah,
know. Do you have siblings?
I have two older brothers who, being the youngest, I feel like I ended up spending like a lot more quality time with my mom than they did. I don't know. It's like, do you have siblings?
Yes, I have an older sister, and then I have younger brother and sister who are my half siblings. And then I had four steps. I have three now because one of them passed. Um, but yeah,
Oh,
yeah, she passed. It's been an interesting almost 3 years in my family with all the loss and everything. But yeah, we all had, you all have different experiences with your parents. Like all
yeah.
the siblings have a different experience. But yeah, so
Well,
you
I
went,
always loved your stories about your mom doing art therapy in the house. I think that's just those are the most fascinating, wonderful stories.
thank you. I mean, she had a lot of groups downstairs, and I would just get, when I was a teenager, I would get high and just sit on the stairs and listen to her groups, her therapy groups. And it was
Oh my
crazy.
God.
Yeah. Yeah. It was
Was
pretty
it in group art therapy? Is everybody like working on the same kind of project together? Is it like we're all going to paint our sorrow
yeah.
or like sculpt something? Like, oh.
But it was such a joke to me growing up. I'd walk into the room and just see like tinfoil balls everywhere and be like, I'd step on them. I'm like, what is this? But they were like someone's entire childhood. So,
Oh,
Yeah, it is pretty fascinating. And my mom is still on Zoom now doing sessions with people. It's,
That's incredible.
yeah, therapists are racking it in. Do you go to a
Oh,
therapist?
yes. Yeah, with a delay with a therapist once a week. And it is, I've been thinking like, you know how like how horrible it is to have to repeat a joke, like when you say it once and someone doesn't hear and you're like, here it
Yeah.
comes again at like a third of its strength. It's even worse when you're confessing things about like your trauma and stuff, and you're like, oh fuck, I have to say this again, like I can't I can't believe I have to shout this and enunciate even harder. Like, I didn't have a connection with my father, much like this session. It's maddening, but I
I,
feel like we have to like you
I
can't give
know.
up therapy now. I mean, it's
No.
yeah.
But I hear my therapist doing things in the background because we do it on the phone. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, are you like planning a party? I hear like crinkling and crunching and and birds
Oh my
chirping.
god.
Like, I'm like, what? Where the fuck are you? And she's normally taking a walk, but it's very. I don't know. I'm just resentful about it. I I feel like she should be sitting in a chair just listening to me, but she's like doing stuff.
Yeah.
But of course, I don't say anything because I don't want to hurt her feelings, even though I'm paying her for help.
Right. I mean, this is where like I think one of my parents probably, if either of them had been willing to enter therapy, I think they would be haggling right now.
Yes, always. My
Yeah.
mother, that is the funniest thing. My mother haggles to the point of like if she's going to buy a car and it's whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm literally making this up. It's $50,000. She'd be like, "Can't you do it for 40?" I'm like, "Mom, you're going 10,000 down." Like it's so, and she'll harass someone so much that they'll give it to her for nothing because they're like, I can't do this. I can't keep haggling with you. Are your parents still alive?
Yeah, just to continue with the day.
Yeah.
My father passed in 2005 or six. I mix up the year now, which feels, and my mom is still kicking, but she's getting on a plane from Boston to Florida in 2 days, and I'm beginning a campaign to convince her not to do that because it's Florida is the fucking worst right
I
now,
know. Where is she
and
going to
also
Florida?
always.
It
She has a boyfriend feels like a weird
I
word
know.
because they're in their 70s, but they met online, and he
Yeah.
lives in Jupiter, Florida. So she's going to see him because it's been months, but it's does not seem like a wise plan to me.
No, first of all, it's a companion at that point. Companion is a good word.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Partner feels like too much, boyfriend too little. It's companion. Yes.
And partner feels
Oh,
so liberal.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yes. And I know she's not.
right.
So,
Right.
oh,
I
yeah.
get it.
I wish she wasn't getting on a plane. But I also, she's not my daughter. I can't like control her plans. But yeah, does not seem smart.
I could not, I can't even believe I'm saying this because I have been traveling like an animal for 21 years. I'm talking all over the world by myself, cruise ships, gigs in Europe by myself. I can't even believe what I've done. I am petrified to be in an airport or on an airplane, and I will not do it for a long time. I'm like, I'm really scared.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Yeah. Yes. And that's one thing actually I've been sort of thinking about is like, we did get to do a lot of stuff while we could. That's the one sort of like positive, is like, we did get to go a bunch of fucking great places and have weird experiences for a long time before everything collapsed. But yeah, I don't know how we'll go back, like Greyhound buses and stuff. I mean, I don't know how any of this will resume.
I think that for us in New York, thank God, I do think that we're going to have to take like kind of all go back to where we started, in the way that it's going to be a lot of, which I'm fine with, small rooms again, more kind of like bars, also, you know, weird venues. I'm okay with it. I just want to perform and try out material. So I don't care if it's like a big club show. I think we will have opportunities to do that. And we'll make it happen.
And yeah, I agree. It's just about like the experience of it.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think
it is a
like
very
big
sort of like,
and big events it's gonna be a while.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I'm just dying I want a haircut more than I ever thought I would. That's been like, I didn't know I gave a shit as much as I do, but I want to shave my head now.
You do?
I hate all of this. It makes me so cranky, and all I do is sweat. So
yeah, I'm not feeling good about myself at all. My hair was very long. I had someone come and outside with a mask and a face shield, everything, cut my hair, but I was covered and she was covered. I had to get my hair cut, and it was recent. But I feel horrible. I just don't feel good about myself. And
yeah,
there's some people who are really focusing on feeling good and eating like a lot of kale and smoothies and doing exercise. And yeah.
Where does that motivation come from? I feel like just doing anything feels hard. I feel like I'm wearing like a weighted vest to drown in the ocean. But
I feel that's why I love talking to comics, because I feel the exact same way. Like I feel like even going somewhere some days, I just can't even get anywhere. I'm so down.
Yeah.
But
everything is hard.
Yeah. But it is important for us to communicate and see each other and do these kind of things, because we need that. Thank you so much to all of my Patreon members for supporting the podcast.
All right, hold up. Could you take a little off the P's? You're hitting them too hard. Not action.
Thank you so much to all of my Patreon members for supporting the podcast.
Hold on. Now you're whispering Patreon. Is there a reason you're whispering?
Well, you said to take the
somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
You ready? Action.
Thank you so much to all of my Patreon members.
Now you got to pause.
For those of you who don't know, Patreon members, is that okay?
It was perfect. Why'd you stop?
Oh, okay. Patreon members.
Cut. Let's go back to the beginning.
Thank you
and action.
Thank you so much to all my Patreon members for supporting the podcast. For those of you who don't know, Patreon members get early access to the podcast, ad-free episodes, and access to monthly live streams where we talk more about...
All right, let's take it back to the beginning. That was perfect. Do it exactly like that.
I just did it well, though, but why are you starting over? Thank you so much to all of my patron...
Cut. Why are you screaming?
Because I'm just trying to get through this.
Action.
Thank you so much to all of
Action.
Thank you so much to all of my Patreon members. For those of you who don't know, Patreon members get early access to the podcast.
Perfect. Keep going.
There's so many P's.
Keep going. Keep going.
Ad-free episodes.
You could cut this out, right?
For those of you who don't know, Patreon members get early access to the podcast, ad-free episodes, and access to monthly live streams where we talk more about being relatively sane.
Hold up. Did we agree on monthly live streams?
Yes, you told me I should do them because it'll get more members.
I don't know how to do a monthly live stream.
Don't you just talk in your phone?
We'll figure it out. Come on, let's get through this. We have to go. We should
Okay.
speed this up.
All right. Thank you so much to all my Patreon members for supporting this podcast. For those of you who don't know, Patreon members get early access to the podcast, ad-free episodes, and access to monthly live streams. We don't know what that is, but whatever, where we talk about being relatively sane. If you want to join our fantastic community that is so corny, go to patreon.com/Jessica Kirson. That's patreon.com/Jessica Kirson. That's
hold on.
patreon.
I think you said patriot.com.
Go to patreon.com/Jessica Kirson. That's patreon.com/Jessica Kirson. Patreon.com/Jessica Kirson. Thanks again.
And cut. That's a wrap.
Ugh.
What does your fiance do?
He owns a restaurant in the neighborhood. So that is obviously like, I think both of us, like comedy and restaurants, both took such crazy hit. Yeah, he's making it work, but it is very challenging to transition from like a neighborhood hangout kind of place to a takeout operation. I think it's like not anyone's dream to do takeout.
Does he have tables outside now?
Yes, that's been the latest addition, and people do come and sit at them because everybody wants to get outside. So like it does feel like it's moving in the right direction, and like the little bits of normal returning, but yeah, it's fucking hard.
Yeah, it's really, I know. When are you guys getting married? Do you have a date?
We're set for October 9th, 2021, which is far enough away that I feel okay about it, but I'm not in the like wedding planning headspace at all. I was already not a big, I don't have like the bride fantasy the way I think a lot of women do. I feel like stand-up weirdly kind of eclipsed my like attention need in that way, if that makes any sense. Like I don't know. Did you have a big wedding or get into the whole bride thing?
I had a big wedding, but I was not into it. I'm exactly like you, and like that's Rachel Feinstein and I talk about that all the time, even as mothers. I didn't have that. Like, I can't wait for my wedding day. It was very uncomfortable for me, which is going to sound crazy because you'd think I want all that attention, and I was very uncomfortable with the whole thing.
I feel like taping an hour special is your wedding. Like that scratches the itch.
Yeah.
It's a much more authentic scratching of the itch. Yeah.
It just, because
I look at wedding dresses and stuff online. I'm like, what is all of this?
Yeah, that whole thing made me crazy. I mean, I could care less about that shit. So, and then like all the attention, like you excited and it looks great. And then dancing in front of everyone, I wanted to die. It just,
yes.
I was embarrassed.
Yeah. The ritual of it is so crazy. And I get like, I think if I was like, if I worked in a to express myself, I might be like, holy shit, this is my day. But we have such a good channel for being ourselves that like, yeah, at all the dresses making ladies look like cupcakes and stuff. I just am
cupcakes.
I don't feel reflected in that at all. I don't know. What did you wear for your wedding?
No, you don't seem like the person that would be like, I want frills and a low back. No, I wore a custom.
What did you wear?
A custom suit, like a pantsuit, which is what I felt comfortable with. Because if I wore a dress, I would feel like I should be on RuPaul's show. I'm not comfortable in a flowy dress. And it was beautiful, but I had to go to this woman like 3 times a week. for months, and she's like putting pins in me, and oh no, it doesn't fit here, and like, oh, it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. I mean, it wasn't even ready until like the day before. It was one of those situations. And Danielle, my
Also,
wife,
like
wore a big
fittings
dress.
are.
Yeah,
She wore a big dress.
yeah, but fittings are horrible.
Yeah, it's so. If you have any issues at all, people doing all that stuff is like, my weight fluctuates all over the place. Like, there's not going to be a dress that fits me like in the future. What does that even mean?
That's true.
But, yeah,
That's very true.
Oh, we were talking about coping with stress and stuff, and crunchy foods are my weird. I've eaten so many crackers just straight out of the box with nothing. It's very weird.
I talk about that a lot on the podcast, that I eat chips. I'm an addict where I can't stop eating chips. And the crunchy is because I'm so angry and anxious. And I like that, like chomping on things. Yeah.
Yes. I think it's a combination of that. You can get some rage out from chewing crunchy stuff. And then I also think the sound of it can drown out your thoughts, which is huge.
And then you can choke to death.
Finally.
Have you gained weight, or are you kind of at the same weight?
It's a type of weight gain that I haven't experienced before, where it's like it's a dimplier weight gain than I've ever felt. It's mostly around my hips, which I'm like trying not to ever look at. We have one full-length mirror in the house that I can avoid most of the time. Like, yeah, it's gonna happen. I mean, I'm eating sleeves of crackers and not moving, so.
Sleeves of crackers.
Oh, the sleeves.
I trust me.
Yeah, it hurt.
Yeah, I performed this weekend and I put on pants and I was like, okay, they are tight in the waist area. Like I'm in elastic clothes all the time, so I don't even notice. And then when I haven't gotten dressed to go out anywhere, obviously. So I put on like pants. And I'm like, I've gained, and then I weighed myself and I've gained like 8 pounds. I'm like, you better fucking get it together.
I mean, 8 seems like reasonable to me. I think I'm probably around 8 over 2, but we don't have a scale. That's key. That is key to avoiding the issue.
Well, you know what? Danielle keeps putting the scale out. And I think it was like, yeah, I think she was like, you better weigh yourself because you're getting up there. I really think it was, I have to ask her, but I think it's on purpose because it's always under the little cabinet. And it's been out. Like it's been in the bed on
That's where it belongs. Oh my God. Yeah, I don't know how if anybody I know comes out of this in good shape, I'm gonna be I will cut them out of my life.
They will be. There are people who are okay. Like they're turning this into a self-care thing. I don't understand it.
I'm practicing self-maintenance at best. It's not care. It's at best we're maintaining. Ugh, fucking crazy.
Have you been watching a lot of TV, or what are you doing at night? What do you?
It's a fair, yeah. I've been watching a show on Netflix called, it's like a state-sponsored Japanese variety show called Japanese Style Originator. And it's a great show to just numb out to. Like both, it's a lot about like like very specific craftsmen, like a guy who makes a type of candle that takes him 2 years to make. Like there's a lot of like just sort of tedious obscure machinery and stuff, and I am finding that I can watch that for hours and feel nothing, so that's good. I did Love Island. I did a couple of the like, some reality shit, but I don't know. It's hard to just enjoy entertainment when you do it for your life. So
I know.
is there anything you like?
No, I can't, I don't know I can't focus on the TV. I can't focus on television shows. I'm too crazy in my head. It's nuts. Tell everyone where you've written for, what shows you've written for, because it's interesting because of everything going on with politics.
Oh, yes, I wrote for Stephen Colbert for a bit and for the President Show on Cruel before that. And so, yeah, it was like 3 years of writing jokes about Donald Trump every day. And it's like, I'm very happy I got to do it, but it also kind of burned up, like, to get angry about things in a weird way. So I don't know. I keep up with the show. I still watch, and I still have lots of friends there who I love, but it does wear you down to follow the news really closely. So yeah.
You watch? It would be very hard for me to do that. Very.
Yeah.
Do you watch the news now?
Because at first I read the news on my phone a lot, but I don't watch it. I feel like it's regular television where you could like like linear TV, I guess. But I'm still addicted to checking the news. I look at all the news websites like several times throughout the day, I think I'm always hoping that there's going to be one time I refresh my phone and everyth's fine. That there's like a headline that's like, we got this. And, like all the bad guys have prostate cancer and everything's going to be okay.
Prostate cancer. It's like the virus.
I just think they would handle it so badly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, the whole party got testicular cancer. Do you think you're so smart. Tell me what you think. I ask people this that I think are smart. Do you think he's going to win it again?
Wait, well,
do you think Trump's going to win again?
If you had asked me in March, I would have said yes. And now I think he has done such a patently shitty job between the virus and the racism issues and police related stuff. I want to say that that we're moving into a place where it's like just common sense to not vote for him. I am hoping, but it's like the only little deal is that people will go like, okay, this has been bad. These have been bad years.
I think, first of all,
I'm not especially a Joe Biden fan, but
yeah, I know. I get it. I mean, now we don't have a choice.
Yeah.
But I agree with what you just said. If you had asked me before this happened, I'd say, I think he's going to win. But ever since all of this is happening, I think a lot more people are going to go vote. A lot. All different kinds of people, all different ages. And I think that's going to be bad for him.
Yeah, because this does affect absolutely everybody. And you'd have to be like so far up your own ass to say, I want more of this.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So let me ask you a question, because I'm curious about this. What is your goal? Like, what would be your dream as a comedian and a writer? What's your, like, if you could do anything, what would it be?
This is a good question that I don't know if I have an answer to. I really wanted to do an hour special at some point. Like, I don't know if that will be possible, but that's still something on my list of things that would be nice to do. And I also feel like, I've been working on an animated script, and I think voicing a character and getting to like work with friends on voicing things would be so fun. So that's where the energy's been going.
Yeah, well, and I'm involved with an animated show that I'm praying gets sold after this. It's someone who came to me and asked me to do a voice for something, but what a great job that would be for us.
Oh my God, yes, because voice work you can do from anywhere. It's a big deal.
Yeah, and it's great money.
Yeah. Yes.
And
also, like, I realized a lot of the shows that I loved growing up were like Dr. Katz, and like I watched so many cartoons. So I feel like that would just be a satisfying thing. But I'm so glad you're doing some of that. That's so cool.
Yeah, I mean, I hope it gets sold, but it was a lot of fun to do, and it's a great idea. But tell people where they can find. Let me say something before you do that. You are a brilliant comic. This is going to be uncomfortable to hear.
Oh,
but you're hysterical. For anyone who's not watching on YouTube, she's covering her face. But you're so funny and such a great writer, and you will have an hour special for sure.
and I really thank you so much. That's so nice.
I really think you're great, and I want people to follow you. So where can they follow you? Where can people stay in touch?
I guess Twitter is probably that's the last social media thing that I still look at. But it's at Emmy Blotnick. And also I am sweating from trying to receive that compliment. Thank you so much.
No, it's so hard.
Yes, but I'm such a huge fan of yours too. I've been just looking forward to chatting for a while.
That's so good. I love that. Why aren't you on Instagram?
I don't love photos of myself or of people thriving, and those seem to be the the genres of posts that I just every time I look at it I feel bad. So I was just but I just don't go on very much. Are you an Instagram person?
I am, because I feel like I have to be for the road and stuff like that, and to grow my audience, but it's a lot. It's a lot to look at that shit. I like Twitter. I get all my news from Twitter.
And it's, that seems much more organic to just type out things and be like, what about this, as opposed to adjusting your face to look like you have cheekbones for half an hour. That's the shit I can't get into.
I understand. Well, I adore you. I am so grateful that you did this, and who knows, we may see each other soon, in the next month or something. I don't know, at one of the clubs.
I hope so.
Yeah.
That would be so nice. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me on.
Of course. You're so good. You're so talented, and you're such a good person. And we'll be doing
You are.
Yeah. All right. So much.
Yeah.
We will talk soon.
Farewell, my sweet.
Aww.